It should be, yeah. I think it's off to the side, maybe. Oh no, you're right. It's in the middle. It's all good. A little extra cleaning for the floor.
Thank you.
Morning. Morning. Hey, Julie. Hey, Catherine. Hey, Sophia. Hey, Abby. Wow. Cruising down the street, making my way to yoga.
Like only allowing yourself like only 4 blocks. Anyway, I checked in. Yes. Got me. Sorry, I'm to do the math.
Yeah. Did you get the Google form, Margaret? Did you get the Google form?
Yeah.
Okay.
No, that's great.
Great. One whole button to push. Or did you actually go in on the long ones?
I do it on my phone, but like I do the whole thing.
Yeah.
You'll see. It's not there.
Okay.
Hey, Danielle.
Hi.
Hi. I have to be a little delicate with myself. I got the shingles vaccine, so I'm feeling a little yucky today, and my arm's a little sore. So I just wanted to give you a heads up, but I'm doing it anyway as much as I can.
Okay. Glad you're here. Hey, Jeremy. Hey, Emma. Hey, Melissa. Here's what I'm playing over on this end if you guys want music. I was just thinking about you. Yeah. I was gonna send you a little email or text or something to check on you. Good. back? I'm like, I definitely didn't see you walk by. All right, good morning. Take your block and sit up on it like a little chair in a seated meditation. You can feel free to lean against the wall too if you want to put like the block in the crux of the wall and sit back. So then you got a chair with a back. So my name's Danielle. This is an hour, all levels flow, all body parts flow. We'll do a little bit of everything. And we have Zoomies with us. So you'll see me talking over here to the computer sometimes. So settle into the parts of you that are touching the earth. That's step one. Just let everything sink in. Notice the goings on around you. Whatever sounds are happening, whatever action is happening. Notice all the things. Notice the less obvious things like, any smells or the temperature of the room. So eyes and ears are the first like two main things and the more obvious things. And then notice the goings on with your other senses. And take a breath in and a breath out. Take a breath in and a breath out. You have 5 main senses, right? So imagine you have like a volume dial for each of them, like a radio volume dial. And then you have your 6th sense, like your intuitive sense, your wisdom sense, your inner sense, like your gut sense. So you want to turn down the dials on the main 5. Sight, smell, touch, taste, hearing. And turn up the dial on the 6th sense. The innermost listening. The one that tells you what you need physically, mentally, emotionally. Take a breath in and a breath out. Sit just a little taller. Turn the inner sense dial just a little higher. Take a breath in and take a breath out. You can start movement with your hands or your toes or your head. It's really small movement. And then we'll eventually meet in child's pose. So you take your time and whatever you need on the way there. And for everybody in here, we'll face the moon wall, okay? Press the center of your forehead into the mat. That's where that innermost sense is housed. Rock your forehead side to side. And walk your arms off the edge of your mat all the way over to one side. Go as far as you have to go to feel a side stretch. So it might even take like lifting up a little and walking your whole upper body to one side. Switch sides. Come back to center. Come up to tabletop. Take one arm to the sky. Spin your arm around a couple times. Put your attention in your shoulder. Lubricate your shoulder joint. And thread underneath you. Don't get too comfy. We're not going to stay. And then open back up. So you're twisting up and then under a couple times. Up and then under. See if you can imagine like you're moving through water so that your action, your movement has that kind of fluidness to it. Switch arms, start back with the circles. Like you're spinning your arm through water. Think about your shoulder. So the number one thing the body doesn't want is to be stagnant. Go thread the needle and then open back up a couple of times, twisting. And sit back on your heels for hero's pose. Reach your arms up to the sky. Catch your hands above your head, interlace them. Squeeze your palms together till you feel your palms hollow out. When you squeeze hard, the hand muscles jump in, they jump into the action, and your palms hollow out. Now flip your palms to the sky. Press way up. Lean back like you're taking a big full body yawn. Down dog. take one leg to the sky and you'll move that around like you're moving through water. For me, it helps to bend my knee and move my knee around. But you're actually really focusing on the hip and lubricating the hip joint. So movement brings all the necessary fluids to the places it needs to go. It takes everything from like a viscous state and makes it all more movable. Switch legs. Big sweeping movements, like you're moving your leg through water. And then walk both feet up to your hands for ragdoll. Just gonna flip you around to face that way. Bend your knees. Drop heavy toward your thighs. So like body rest on thighs. Give your head a little turn side to side, yes and no. Then roll up to standing. Bring your hands to heart center. Close your eyes. Put a little bow in your head, drop your chin. Visualize one more time. In this moment anyway, one more time. And honestly, throughout your whole day, visualize those 6 dials again, like volume dials on the radio. And you're turning down the outermost senses in order to turn up that innermost sense. Your own intuition, your trust in self. And pick up your chin. Let's take one Om together. Deep breath in. Oh. Reach up, take a deep breath. Bow forward, exhale out. Halfway lift, plank pose. Drop your knees, arch and round your spine a few times in cat and cow pose. Tuck your toes, press back into your toes a good amount so you feel them stretch. Then down dog, send your hips high. Walk up to your hands. Roll up to stand. Reach up with your arms, look up with your eyes, forward fold. Halfway lift, plank pose. Come down halfway, chaturanga. Lift your heart, drop your legs, up dog. Downward facing dog. Walk up to your hands. Roll up to stand. Arms up, eyes up. Forward fold. Halfway lift. Plank pose. Drop halfway down, chaturanga. Up dog. Downward facing dog. Take a deep breath in and clear it out. Gaze forward, walk or hop to the top. Halfway lift, fold in, chair pose. Bend your knees, reach up high. Gaze straight ahead and find one point to focus on. Depending on where you are, the point could be on a wall, it could be, those of you at home, a piece of furniture, it could be your pet, it could be anything, a plant. But it's one point to set your eyes and one point to keep coming back to. It's always good to know where your anchor points are, the things you can lean on, the things you can trust. Take a breath in, bow forward, halfway lift, plank pose, chaturanga, upward facing, downward facing dog. Step one foot to the top and rise up, warrior one. Find your trusted point to set your eyes on, your anchor, your drishti. Interlace your hands above your head, just like we did before. Squeeze palms together till you feel them hollow out. So there's this big opening in your hands, but you can't see it from the outside. Now flip your palms to the sky, stretch upward. Chaturanga. Upward facing, downward facing. Other foot forward, warrior one. Lock your eyes to that trusted point. Interlace your hands, squeeze them, hand hug, hollow out the space in the middle, and imagine a glowing ball of light in there. Give it the color yellow, the color of your third chakra, the color of your center, your power, your truth. Now flip your palms to the sky, almost like you're offering it up. Chaturanga. Up dog. Downward facing dog. Gaze forward. Walk or jump there. Halfway lift. Fold in. Chair pose. Lock your eyes on that trusted place. Pick up one knee from here and step back to warrior one from here. Once you land, interlace your hands above your head, big squeeze, then flip your palms to the sky. Plank pose. Drop your knees to the mat, take one arm up, doesn't matter which one. Thread the needle, go underneath yourself and rest for a sec. Feel your head and your shoulders sink into the floor, trusting the earth to hug you and hold you. Unwind, reach it back to the sky. Keep your arm up there up high. Get on your fingertips on the lower hand, grow a little taller. Now drop your hand behind your back and twist open. Press your hand into your back till you feel your shoulder want to open up more. Downward facing. Gaze forward, walk or jump there. Half lift, fold in, chair pose. Pick up one knee, the other one now. Step back, warrior one. Interlace, hand hug, flip it and offer it up. Plank pose. Drop the knees, take the other arm high. Thread the needle. Unwind, bring it back to the sky. Reach way up, hold your arm up there and get on your fingertips on the lower hand. So your arms open wider together in a sense. Now drop your hand behind your back and then use it to press into your body and open more and stretch across the pecs from the center of your chest out. Down dog. All right, so I want you to try to imagine that stretch you just did in your shoulder. You're gonna apply it in your legs. So take one leg to the sky. You're gonna bend your knee and kind of drop your foot behind you a little bit, just like what you were doing with your arm. And then send your knee higher to the sky and open up. So it's like you're stretching across the hips, the same way you did your chest. Now hug it in, knee to nose, give a good tight squeeze. Step between your hands, lunge, rise up with your toes up in the back, or your heel up, I should say. And notice where your front leg is, you're turning in that direction. Open up water wheel. See if your back hand can touch down to your thigh back there. Or you could reach your front arm high or leave it right where it is. Warrior two with your hands clasped behind you. Try for a hand hug behind your back. So you're trying to hollow out that little glowing ball of space in your hands again. And then bow forward, humble warrior to the inside of your thigh. Could you keep that hollowed out space between your palms? You can bend your elbows or you could straighten your arms. Lizard lunge, drop your hands, drop your back knee down. Be on your hands or be on your blocks or be on your forearms. Anything goes. Put your attention on the quad stretch in the back leg though. Try to pull your quad long back there from your knee to your hip bone. Side plank, face either way. Look up toward your top hand. See if you can get that height that you got on your fingers before, but without getting on your fingers now, because that would be hard, really, really hard. Down dog. Lift your other leg to the sky. Bend your knee. So you're aiming again for that same kind of stretch, like the shoulder stretch. Your foot's behind you and your knee reaches up to the sky and kicks back and open. Look for the tug in the hip and even in your belly. Hug knee to nose, round and squeeze. Step forward, lunge. Take your arms up high. Sink the whole pose a little bit lower. And then toward your front leg, water wheel, turn in that direction. Warrior two with your hands behind you. Interlace behind, squeeze tight. So you really want to try to squeeze the heels of your hands together. So you get that whole, like, that hollowed out feeling. I can't see it from the outside, but you can feel it from the inside, and that's the thing. Humble warrior, bow forward. Lizard lunge, sink toward the earth. Let it draw you down and in. Side plank. Downward facing dog. Gaze forward. Walk or hop there. Halfway lift, pull up. Fold in, wrap your arms around your legs, hug. Chair pose. Lift one foot, step back, warrior one. Interlace above your head, then flip it to the sky. Plank pose. Drop the knees, take one arm up, deep breath in, thread the needle. Take it back up to the sky, drop your hand behind your back. Big shoulder, big chest stretch, open up. Downward facing dog. Send one leg up, bend your knee, open up, and then hug it knee to nose. Step through, lunge, rise up high. Water wheel, turn toward your front leg. Warrior two, behind the back, clasp your hands. Hand hug. Humble warrior. If it feels okay down there, close your eyes and really let your head go. Lizard lunge. So you can hang tight to it exactly as it is. Or if you want a little more quad stretch, kick up your heel in the back. Side plank. Downward facing dog. Breathe a deep breath in, hold it at the top. Keep it there, hold it, let the pressure build. Let it out. Gaze forward, jump forward. Halfway up, fold in, hug your legs, hug yourself and mean it. Chair pose. Pick up the other knee, big step back, warrior one. Hand hug up top, hollow out the little space between your palms. Fill it with a glowing yellow light, the center of yourself, your truth, your power, and flip it up, offer it up. Plank pose. Drop the knees, other arm to the sky, thread the needle, sink into the earth. Open back up, reach up, drop the arm behind your back, big stretch. Downward facing. Take up your other leg, bend your knee and take that big stretch up there. Across the front of your hips, you wanna really kick open as much as you can. Then knee to nose, squeeze it in. This is the back of the hip stretch. Lunge, step through, rise up. Water wheel twist toward your front leg. Warrior two, clasp the hands at the back. Humble warrior, drop forward, close down your eyes. It feels okay. If it doesn't throw you off too much, close them down and really let your head go. Lizard lunge. Kick up your heel if you want to. Side plank. You're gonna come down all the way to your belly. Just drop your arms at your sides, kick up your heels, and go side to side windshield wipers. Reach back, grab one or both of your heels and pull it in. Pull your heel toward your bum. If you're holding just one, switch to the other one. If you're on one cheek, switch to the other cheek. Tabletop, press up. Give yourself plenty of room in front and in back of you. Take one arm forward, one leg back, opposite sides. Take your hand behind your head, just plant it right on the back of your head. And the funny thing is, automatically the arm gets heavier and the head wants to drop. I want you to do the opposite of that. Pick up your head, press into the back, into your hand, into the back of your head. Okay, so your head's up. Now bend your knee, lift up. So everything's moving toward the sky, okay? You're fighting gravity right now, hard. Keep your hand there, but hug elbow to knee underneath your body. Squeeze, hug, hold. Kick back. You're gonna grab your ankle this time. Foot, ankle, whatever you can grab. Hang on to it and then lift up again. Head up, chest up, eyes up. Don't let your foot slingshot, just let go slow. You're moving through water. Step your foot up to the top, up to the top. You're gonna rise up and catch the back foot dancer. Take your time. Dancer up high. So you use your hand on something to brace yourself or on your heart or reach it up. Now apply what you did on the floor. Kick back and up, lift your chest up, lift your eyes up. Chair pose, feet together, sit low, hands to your heart. Sit back more than you normally do. Pick up your toes. Spread out your toes. Big deep breath in. Ragdoll release. Tabletop. Step back a little, drop your knees. Other arm forward, other leg back. Put your hand on the back of your head. As soon as you feel it get heavy, push your head back So heads up, chest up, bend your knee, lift your knee up and fight. Like the fight for your strength, the fight for your power, the fight for your intuition. Elbow and knee squeeze under your body. Hug, hug, hug. Kick back, grab your ankle behind you or foot, hang on tight. And again, go into the fight, like rip roaring. Step to the top of your mat, find your way up onto that foot and grab your ankle behind you, dancer's pose. Kick your foot back and kick it toward the sky. Let the rest of the pose create itself around that. And then lift your chest up and your eyes up. Chair pose, really good work. Hands at your heart center, sink back and down more than usual. Pick up your toes, put space between every single toe. Take a huge breath in. Ragdoll. For this one, slide your hands under your feet, gorilla pose. You bend your knees as much as you need to get your hands under there. So you really want to be like stepping on your palms, put some pressure in there. Yogi squat. My fave way is on the block. If you want to sit on the block, it's really helpful to sit up taller. It goes right under your tailbone, like a little chair. And do hands at heart or arms up, which is pretty fiery, challenging type pose. Or you could do hands on the earth. Close your eyes. Little tuck of the chin. Almost like you've turned your gaze down. And come onto your back. Have the block handy nearby. Take a flowing bridge to start. So arms overhead, hips to the sky. And then it all comes down. Then it all goes back up. And it all comes down a couple of times. And then after, I don't know, 3 or so, stay up in bridge, either with the block under you or not. Butterfly, come on down. Put your feet together, knees wide. Take one or both hands on your belly above your belly button. Guide your attention straight to where your hands are. Right into the center of you. Although wisdom and intuition is kind of housed in the third eye in your forehead, the action that it takes one to trust your wisdom and intuition and then to follow it lives right here in your third chakra in your center of you. You could stay on your back, or you could flip forward for pigeon pose. From here, it's a cross of your ankle over your thigh and hug it in. Face forward, it's one knee forward, one leg stretched back. Switch legs. Take all the time you need in the middle. seated tree. Come on up to a seat. Stretch one foot out in front, tuck the other one in. And stretch over your long leg. Switch legs. Wide legs. Go as big of a straddle as you can. Go right down the middle. And come onto your back. Hug both knees in. Drop them to the yellow wall side. Recline, twist. switch sides. Shavasana. Bring your awareness to your breath. Bless you. Step your feet in, rock your knees side to side a few times. Make your way up to a seat. Bring one hand on heart, one hand just above your belly button, third chakra. One, breathe in. Together, we recognize that place of power in all of us. Together we say, Namaste. Thank you so much. Thanks everybody on Zoom.
Thank you.
Your trainees. We'll do Q&A in just a sec, but you can start by typing nuggets into the chat. Tell me all the things you learned. Thank you so much. Let's do 2 nuggets per person, teacher trainees. So please type 2 things that stood out for you from class. Remember, it doesn't have to be like so philosophical or anything that's like that. It just has to be, you know, anything, any cue that stood out, anything about themes, threads, poses, transitions. In your car? Okay. Or you can, yeah. Yeah. But let's just do it both on my computer. You're welcome. Right here's fine. I'll make a little pile. Yeah. Good. Bye, guys. What'd you say?
The mason jar dirty tray.
Yeah.
has dirty
Oh, okay. Thank you. Bye, guys. That's clever. see you.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome so much. Oh, two Barbaras. Yeah. Bye. I'm glad you're back. I miss you when you're not here. And you take your time. Okay. All right, let me change the volume comes from so that you guys can hear Skip and Skip can hear you. Okay. So let's hear some nuggets out loud. I see a bunch in the chat. Thank you guys so much for placing things in there. What did you learn? And you can jump in anytime too.
So I wrote it in the chat, but like I found that like that modified kind of spinal balance into dancer like really hard. But but also like really opening. And it was nice to like kind of like come up against my edge and like just like not have a preconceived notion about like this is how it's supposed to be, but instead just like surrendering to it in my body. Like it just felt like a kind of like breakthrough for me today. So
Breakthroughs are good. Yeah, what else? We started with meditation, remember?
I thought it was cool the way you talked about dialing down the five senses to deal with the third chakra and your gut and your intuition, and kept going back to it throughout all the way to the end.
Yeah, Skip brings up a good point, and that was one of my main themes of the class was third chakra, intuition, which is interesting because you know, I was teaching about third chakra, right, and talking about like your power and connecting to third chakra specifically, but when it comes to intuition, it's really sixth chakra. But I mentioned toward the end, like I tie it all together when I talked about how, you know, in order to listen to your intuition, you have to trust from your core, right? You have to allow your intuition to come through, and then you have to trust it and follow it, right? So it really and it's really kind of like a testament to how everything is intertwined and all the chakras work like bicycle gears. And if one's off, then they're all going to be off. If one's grinding and the others are in perfect condition, they're still going to grind because one in the chain is off, you know? It's the same thing with chakras. Ultimately, if one is like way out, if you really like have no connection to self, you don't trust your own self, your own gut, you don't listen when it talks to you, you know, you don't you don't have like any confidence, your esteem's really low, like all of that stuff, then ultimately up the line and down the line, both directions, there's going to be other, you know, energetic chakral type issues.
I had this happen to me last night where I had that feeling in my gut that something wasn't right. And I got a letter yesterday, late in the afternoon, regarding my profession, where they said that some paperwork had not been submitted when I knew it had been. It was during COVID. And then when I looked through the email chain, I could see that there was a mix-up. But in my gut, I could feel that something was wrong. And then I went back to the things we've learned here to go to sleep at night, because otherwise it would have bothered me. So I thought that was pretty cool.
So you use like yoga tools to work through, yeah. Really cool.
The breathing.
Thanks, Margaret.
Thank you, Danielle.
See you next week on Tuesday.
Bye-bye.
Yeah, that's really great.
yeah, I really like this class because I feel like there's maybe a little more freedom for us to like, so we started in like a meditation today, but like when we started, I was like not there. I was not in it. Right. So like it takes some time to like settle in to your body to like really be there. And that's like one of the things I really enjoy about that like all levels flow is that I think there's like a little more freedom to like revisit it. So like it really stuck with me when we were like laying on our backs and our hands were right above our belly buttons. And it was like, this is where you can like tap into, like dial into that intuition. And so it was like nice to be able to like, I mean, I know that's like part of, you know, creating a theme for a class, right? Is like being able to bring something from that beginning part throughout the class. But like it just landed for me more in the middle of class than it did in the beginning of class. So it's nice to have that like thread kind of like follow through.
Yeah. No, it's a great point, and it's a really important point you make, Catherine, because a lot of people aren't ready for class when they arrive to class. You know, they're saying they're ready because they like need yoga so bad, but like they're everything besides the voice that says like, I'm ready for class, like I got here, everything else is not ready. The body's not ready, the energy's not ready, and the mind really isn't ready, right? So there's so much fidgeting when people first get to class. Like it takes time to settle in, whether you put them in child's pose, plank pose, handstand, doesn't matter what you start with. It's the same kind of thing. Like the collective needs a second to chill. And, or even if you're teaching an individual, same thing. And yeah, so it's like a really good point to see that as the student, what that feels like to be like not ready for it, or fidgety, or to feel the shift from how you were in the meditation in the beginning or whatever it was to how you are, you know, in a slow moment toward the end. I think I spoke about that a little bit last week too, about how it's cool to bring things from the beginning to the end so that people can really feel the difference. But yeah, and in that way, like yoga speaks for itself too, you know, like you don't have to mention it. I didn't say anything about that and you felt it, you know? So I love that too. And that's one thing, like when there's a girl from YTT 26 staff, you guys might have met her in like joint groups, but she always says like she's always fighting with herself and not wanting to say too much. Of course, we all are, but you know, because she really wants to give them like so much. And I'm always reminding her like the yoga has lasted so many years because it speaks for itself. You know, it's come through so much, like to get from the Eastern world to the Western world, and then to be like translated into so many different styles. Like there's a reason why we're like, it's one thing that like one physical practice that's really like come forward from deep history to now, and been able to be modernized, because it does like in so many ways speak for itself. So you can say less and know that students will.
I remember Kim saying something like, if you're not going to say something that changes their life, don't say it.
Yeah.
Which was very powerful.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, because people hear chatter all day long. Like the last thing they need is more chatter, you know? And you can even feel that too as a teacher. Like, you know, as you're taking classes, notice like the most impactful moments are the moments where there was like maybe one like really great cue given and then nothing else said, you know? And obviously there's like, you know, ways to give really impactful cues and say things and make it really impactful. And, you know, that's kind of, I guess, the practice is like, how do you balance the silence and the talking? How do you balance saying really powerful things and then not needing to follow them up with like explanation or something? But I think of it like this too. It's like the best jokes are the jokes that are like, you tell the joke and then you give the punchline and like, that's it. You don't explain the punchline, you know? Or like the best quotes are the ones you like walk into the rest of the day and you're like, still thinking about that quote and you're like, damn, that was like a really good quote, you know? So it's like same thing with yoga. It's like if you over explain it, then it's like not funny anymore, or it's not as meaningful anymore. Same thing. Yeah. Any specific questions about anything we talked about? Let me give a couple like key points about third chakra. So third chakra is yellow. We did the hand hug with the hollowed out space in the middle, and I talked about turning that into like a yellow light and then flip the palms and offer it up. So yellow light, this is all about personal power, gut, which is why it ties into intuition, right? But it's like trusting yourself. It's like listening to yourself and taking action on it. Third chakra is like action. It's fire. It's like the most active. If you were going to say out of all 7 chakras, what's the most active? What's the most like powerful and fiery? Is this one. Second has a lot of action too, because it's water. So it's a lot of flow. But this one is like a hot power class. Like that's like the definition of third chakra. So think like action, power, standing up for what you believe in. You have someone who doesn't ever like stand up for what they believe in or their truth or themselves, like that's super deficient third chakra. What were you gonna say?
Over the weekend, we were talking about chakras, and I think I asked a question about why the color for the water chakra was the color that it was. And somebody said, ask Danielle, because she would know. And I think somebody else asked about, is there a good book that we can go to that explains chakras and how that works?
Yeah, so my favorite book that I think I should be like a representative for at this point is by Anodea Judith, and it's called Wheels of Life. Now, she apparently just put out a recent book and people are asking me about that one. I haven't seen it or read it or anything, but I will say that she's amazing. I guess there's some website that like ranks books by authors or something. It tells you like which one to buy, and it was suggesting her new one. But like I said, I haven't seen it, so I don't know. But for chakras specifically, Wheels of Life is amazing. And it tells you about which nerve bundles in the body it connects to. So you get to see like really how the heart chakra is connected to the heart via physical anatomy, you know? It's really cool, especially if you're like a science buff type person who wants to know all those like things, you know? And she talks, you know, just about all the details about each chakra. It goes into super depth and how it applies with yoga and how it applies with life. And yeah, it's a fat book. It's good. It has a lot of info in it. So that one. To say like why the second chakra is orange and it goes with water, I'm not really sure, but here's the thing, like, you know, second chakra has a lot to do with reproduction, reproductive organs. It's located at the reproductive organ area. And so if you think about like, I don't know, I think about like, okay, yes, it's water and you think of like blue for water, but it's actually like passionate type water flow, like, you know, like reproduction, right? And so I don't know, like I still see how it's like fiery, even though it doesn't have to do with fire. So maybe that makes a little more sense in my head, because it's like, it's flow, it's water, but it's like passion flow. It's like, I think of like water that you live in before you're born, like, you know, like inside the amniotic fluid, like that type of like less than ocean water. I don't know. I just like, if I had to think about that question, that would be probably where I would go with it, but I don't really know the true answer. But think about it that way. And because like, think about this too, earth chakra, root chakra isn't green. you know, even though you would think like logically it would be green, right? Like, why would I want to picture red if I'm going for like grounding? You know, I'd want to picture like brown and green to me, like earth. But
That's where I was going.
yeah. So I don't know, but like there's all kinds of really cool studies with color therapy and stuff that has to do hand in hand with chakras, and they use like colored lights. And actually I'm doing that at my event on next Tuesday. You use those colors to balance those chakras and it works. So whatever that ancient like magic is that's happening, it's working, you know, it works for people. But also like when you get up to the uppermost chakras, the colors make sense up there in their own way, because you're going from like a viscous state in the lower ones, like more stira, more think of like the lower chakras like fists, and as you climb higher they open up and open up and open up. So once you get to the top, it's like more like gas, you know, like totally, because that's like your, they say your seventh chakra is like your aura, so that one's just like huge, you know, it permeates everything, and it's root chakra is dense, and then seventh chakra, crown chakra, is the opposite of dense, whatever that would be.
That makes sense.
So those colors make sense up there because it's like purple into ultraviolet light. So you're like, yeah, I don't know. Speculation. I like thinking about that stuff though. What else can I say about third chakra, if anything? I think that's a pretty good sum of it. It's your core, right? So in terms of poses or teaching, any kind of core work is really good. Planks are really good. Yeah, but it's interesting because like we didn't do any core work, you know, there's no core work in this class, but yet we weaved third chakra into the whole thing.
Mhm.
So it's not like you have to do those things. We applied it with a mudra instead. But if you really want to work like a physical aspect of third chakra, then core work is the way to go for that. Also, anything, yeah, I'm gonna leave it at that. Core work is the way to go. All right. Well, thanks, y'all. I'll be talking about this later in the evening too. So come to 6 p.m. or 7:30 or 7:15. Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi.
Bye.
Thank you, Danielle.
You're welcome.